And the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has commenced a national investigation and assessment on country resilience and human security in Nigeria. The assessment will map both the human security vulnerabilities contributing to conflicts as well as the resilience factors that help certain areas remain stable. Now, speaking at the Inception workshop in Abuja, Director of the ECOWAS Office for Strategic Preparedness and Response, Chris Ngudu, said the study aims to understand the complex issues driving conflict and instability in Nigeria.
As you all know, the last decade has seen West Africa become a theater of conflict, of political shocks, of various disruptions emanating from the COVID pandemic particularly. We've seen incidents of democratic regressions, unconstitutional changes of government, and crisis, multidimensional crisis, encapsulating the impacts of climate change, among other issues. All of this have led to severe stressors on the political stability within the sub-region. To this end, the ECOWAS Early Warning Directorate and the Office for Strategic Preparedness and Resilience have come together to conduct a country resilience and human security assessment. In broad terms, what we hope to achieve is twofold. First, we want to be able to map the human security vulnerabilities that are engendering conflicts, instability, and disruptions within our country, Nigeria. The second is that we want to be able to map the resilience factors in areas that are examples of positive deviance. That is to say, areas that are not quite subject to the same degree of instability, the same degree of conflict and crisis. Ultimately, our aim is to be able to link policy interventions aimed at promoting sustainable peace and development to hardcore evidence-based research.
Well, Wodu said researchers will visit conflict hotspots as well as resilient communities across Nigeria to identify what makes some places resistant to strife, not just the drivers of violence.
This is the sequel to an exercise that was first conducted in 2018. There was a human security vulnerability assessment that was conducted in 2018. The findings of those have been very useful in helping us establish early warning systems across West Africa and in Nigeria as well. So this is a continuation of that particular line of inquiry. So we want to understand the resilience factors as well, not just the vulnerabilities, not just the drivers of conflict, but we want to understand what makes certain places resilient in the face of conflict.
According to him, they tend to use the findings from the country resilience and human security assessment to inform policy interventions by the Nigerians. They also review to use empirical data from findings from the 2018 ECOWAS Early Warning System Assessment, which informed the establishment of early warning mechanisms in the country.